In this video, I will show you how you can start building your dream life right now. I will share with you a powerful and at the same time very fun coaching exercise that I usually do with my clients, have done for myself, and have seen many well-established successful people do the same for their lives. After watching this video, you will know where to start and what steps to take to start creating a completely different quality of your life. You have to remember that life is not just something that happens to you. You own your life. You are the creator. You are the designer. You choose how and where it is going. And unless you are super clear and super specific on what kind of life you want to live, you might end up somewhere where you didn't plan to be. So let's have a closer look at that exercise and the steps you need to take. But before we jump into that, I just want to remind you, my dear followers, that I'm in the process of designing my first online course about how to achieve 360 success, which will go through a pre-launch stage very soon with actionable exercises, guidance, and coaching strategies around personal finance, productivity, relationship, parenting, careers, self-care, and mindset. If you want to get an early access at half price, sign up at the link that I created in the first comment to this video or in the description that you can find just down below. So let's have a closer look at this dream life exercise. So step 1. Dream state. This is the fun part. Have pen and paper. Sit down for 15-20 minutes and start writing down about what kind of life you want to have. There are a few conditions you have to remember though. Number 1, you have to listen to your inner voice and inner state and be super honest with yourself. Do not look at what you currently have and then say, considering I have only this amount of money, or considering I'm at this stage of my life, I will only probably get XYZ. I want you to forget about your current state, and I want you to forget about your limitations, your fears, and just focus on your ideal life. Number 2, you have to be extremely specific. Number 3, you write it in the present tense. I live in XYZ. I earn X number of dollars. Our brain doesn't understand conditions. It only understands absolutes. Not I wish I lived near the ocean, but rather I live near the ocean. Number 4, you have to cover pretty much all aspects of your life. Where do you want to live? In what kind of house? What environment? Is it in the city? Forest? Near the beach? How many bedrooms are there in the house? Is it an apartment? A studio? What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? What do you eat? How much do you exercise? How much money you make per month? What do you do with your money? You might not know what exactly you are doing for work, but it needs to cover your values and what is important for you in terms of job and what is important for you to have in the job. I will give you an example of my work aspect and what I wrote, what's important for me to have in the job. I want to work doing something really valuable, making impact on other people's lives. I want to work not because I have to, but because I choose to. If I choose to, I can stop working for months and not feel a financial burden or burden that might not be able to find a job later. I want to work with whoever I want, whenever I want, and wherever I want, being my own boss. So it kind of gives you an idea of what I'm talking about. It needs to cover your values. Now, once we've done this exercise and we've written down about the dream life, we have to assess whether our current life and current choices we are making are in line with where we're going and where we want to be. I will give you an example of my situation. Once I wrote down what is important for me in terms of my job, I realized that I pretty much had nothing in my current job back at the time set up for what really mattered to me. And even though I was a senior finance person making $200K per year, which is pretty good for a corporate world, I saw my job to be pretty meaningless, drafting tons of presentations that would go to the bin next day, seeing how unproductive people were and that I had to rely on them, having bosses I didn't respect, no geographical and mental freedom, no ability to be myself and stay authentic and true to my boundaries and to myself. I had to fight for my flexible working arrangements, fight for automation of processes, fight for my team, fight for being able to protect my boundaries. I couldn't choose who I work with. Those kind of moments made me realize, well, I don't think I will ever get what is important to me in the corporate world unless I build something of my own. The same with other things. If you put on your list that your ideal life includes traveling 3 times per year, let's say, but you haven't been anywhere for the last 5 years, there is a problem. This might be one of the reasons why you feel exhausted, unmotivated, and unhappy, because you do not live the life you want to live. Because you either not aware of that gap that you have, or you're not taking any actions to close it. This exercise is unbelievably powerful. You can actually refresh it every few years. I did mine twice. Once in 2018, when my husband and I were going through temporary separation, rebuilding our relationship, and one I have done recently. Out of each of those times, I have gotten something extremely profound that has been shaping my life since then. Step 3, use this exercise as the base for your life planning. This exercise, those 2 written pages, become your guiding star, your compass on where you shall be going. Use it to then design your long-term and short-term goals. If you want to learn more about how to design the goals you will actually achieve, check out my video here. When I did that exercise for the first time, I had 1 child. My marriage was falling apart and we decided to separate for 6 months. When doing that exercise at that time, I was so specific about what kind of relationship I want in my life. I wrote about having 2 kids and listed the number of countries I want to visit with my family. It was in 2018. Fast forward in 2024, my relationship is the way I described it back then. We had our 2nd child in 2021 and visited Vietnam, Fiji twice, Bali, New Zealand, Italy for a month, Spain, Turkey, Switzerland, skied in Alps, and so much more. And you would say, how could you plan so far away? Everything can happen. And yes, it did. We had COVID in between and the war in Ukraine, which impacted our whole family and is still going. But sometimes during a storm, the ship goes off course as well. But as long as it has its preset direction it should follow, it will reestablish it the moment the storm is over. So now, when you learned the specifics and how powerful this exercise is, I want you to do the following. I will not let you just watch the video and do nothing. So we will build a plan now. Step 4. Next steps that you have to take. Number 1. If you are watching this video on the go or somewhere where you can't focus, I want you to schedule 20-25 minutes in your diary within the next 3 days as an appointment called Dream Life. I want you to commit that you will dedicate those 25 minutes doing that exercise we just spoke about. Do not procrastinate, get it out of the way, and you will be amazed by how much this exercise will change in your life. Number 2, I want you then to start building goals off the back of that exercise. 3 short-term goals for the next 3 to 6 months, 3 medium-term goals from 6 months to 2 years, and 3 long-term goals from 2 years to 5 years. Number 3, after that, come up with your weekly action plan for your short-term goals for the next 3 months. Step 4, take every action you committed to. Remember, skipping once is human. Skipping twice becomes a habit we do not want to develop. You don't get what you wish for. You get what you work for. As much as manifestation is important, it is nothing without you putting in the work, putting in the effort. New results need new actions, so stick to those. Step 5, you need to show discipline day in and day out. And I have a very particular view on self-discipline. I will not go through details here as I have a separate video on this topic, which you can check out here. Find an accountability buddy, someone who won't allow you to slip off your path. Hire a coach, someone who believes in you sometimes more than you believe in yourself. Step 6, always celebrate milestones along the way. It is so easy to beat yourself up if things do not happen overnight, but you need to be attentive to all small efforts and small steps you have taken day in and day out to change your life. Dream big, start small, and you will be amazed what kind of life you can build for yourself. If you want to have a clear framework on what to do when you feel stuck, check out my video here that has it covered. As always, rooting for you, and see you next week. With care, Anna.